Hey everyone, it's Ben Hart here, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon with a manual transmission. Before we get in this video, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jeep here in Provo for giving me some time with this Gladiator. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 3.6 liter V6 that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you're going to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So we've got the cool vents there on the hood. We also have the Rubicon logo here on the side. And I love the grille setup here with the upgraded lights. And then of course got the red tow hooks to signify it's Rubicon. We also have the upgraded bumper with this as well. And just putting it all together, it's a good looking truck. 285/70/17 is the tire and wheel setup in the front and over in the rear. And you can see with the wheels, you got the silver there with the Jeep logo in the center. And these are pretty dang aggressive tires, if you ask me. See how loud they are when we drive it. Solid front axle still. If you're wondering, notice the fender flare is painted, and then you got your trail rated badge, got the Jeep Gladiator badge, rock rail protection here on the side, and then you can see with the top also painted. And you guys probably assume, but solid rear axle as well. And there's your side profile. And being the manual transmission means we just have lock and unlock on the key fob. No remote start because it's a manual. Then popping into the bed here, the tailgate does slow lower down. Quite a bit of storage as well. So you got LED lights in the bed. And I like that it's got protection from the factory. That's a nice feature to have. When you're all done, just plop. Got the Jeep logo there, and then look at the tail light here, pretty cool. And then you can see with the parking sensors, and then you've got the recovery points there as well. And that's all for the rear. Now, being a Rubicon X means we've got the soft touch here at the top of the door panel, and then you got this cool red stitching there. And then you got the fancy seats with this as well. Look at that, with all the trim. Nice stitching on the side. Little storage pocket here. You can see with the vents, got the window controls there, full power outlet as well. And then if you guys want to quickly see space, you got to step up a bit to get in. But legroom is good, and then headroom is also good. Oh, and I guess that we got to talk about the window. It does open, but just manually. Now taking a look at the front door panel again. All the soft touch trim here. Got our mirror adjustments. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. See what payload is on this rig. You've got 1,032 pounds. Not too bad. Rubicon logo there. And all of our nice trim. Power adjustments on the side of the seat. All of our light controls. Then you got this fancy trim on the dash as well. Taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around. You got red stitching there in the center. Radio controls in the back. We have our adaptive cruise control. You can see controls for the center stack as well. And then we've got a little turn signal stock, and then we have our windshield wiper stock as well. So here's a quick look at the gauge cluster. You can scroll through and see different bits of information on systems. Then the vehicle, which is pretty cool. It also shows you the drive line there off to the side. Now we do have a backup camera as well as the forward-facing camera with this, which is pretty cool. And then as for the rest of the infotainment systems, Jeep's newer unit, pretty quick to respond. Overall, I mean, I think it's easy enough to use, which pop that down, sync it. It's hot today. Got a couple vents down there, and then you can see with the trim across the dash, and then stitching the grab handle even. Controls for the radio, dual zone climate, heated seats with this. This parking sensor button is huge. That's crazy. Stability control. Got little 12 volt here at the window controls, more charging there. And then being a Rubicon, we've got front and rear locking differential set up. So I have a sway bar disconnect. It's for 4 auxiliary items. And then we still have a traditional 2-speed transfer case with this. And we got a manual transmission, 6-speed manual. Reverse is up and over, so up with the lockout and over. Pretty simple to use, but we'll talk about this as we drive it. And then we've got a little parking brake here, some cup holders. It's pretty cool, the center console. Yeah. There's a glove box down there. It's not super big, just like a Wrangler. And then we've got the mechanism here to pull off the top. This does have some insulation, which is always nice. There's more in the back as well, and full hardtop. You guys saw that earlier. It's kind of hard to see with the window sticker, but Rubicon X with the manual, after all options, $67,865 is the total MSRP on this. And let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. It's visibility of the hood. Both mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. With the rest of the rear. And let's set off. This review is a fluke. Here's what I mean. So I came in today just planning on doing a cheap versus expensive comparison. And the Gladiator that I was going to use is on the showroom floor. So I decided to switch and pick out a different Gladiator that's, I'm just gonna go around, that's not on the showroom floor, which was this one. Didn't even look inside, didn't look at the window sticker, just saw that it was a Rubicon, and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm using for my comparison, Rubicon versus, because Rubicon's pretty much the most expensive you can go with the Gladiator. I mean, Mojave's up there too, but anyways, go out, get in the car, and then see it has a manual, and I'm like, this is cool. Let's do a review on it. Let's see how it goes. So, first off, what I'll say is this manual shifter is pretty cool. It's pretty cool if you ask me. Just with how they have this set up. The clutch actuation is kind of weird. This is a manual that's, I would say, a little bit easier to stall. You gotta be a little bit more thoughtful with it. Not bad. And just like most of these manuals, first gear is like a crawling gear. So you're gonna spend most of your time at low speeds in second, right? You're gonna go, I mean, you could even start in second if you wanted to. And you know, it still has four-wheel low, 2-speed transfer case. So you could, I mean, think about first gear in four-wheel low with this. Yeah, this is, the gearing's a lot longer in this compared to the automatic. It's pretty typical of manual transmissions. Automatics have more gears, and so they're just, it's not bad. It's very mechanical, like you can hear some of the stuff happening with the transmission. Which, I don't know, I think that's kind of cool, right? Having a mechanical side of things. Yeah, this clutch is so very sensitive. You gotta really be paying attention with it. It does feel slower than the automatic. And again, I think a big part of that's the gearing. I think a big part of that is that this just has such long gears. Yeah, interesting. It's fun though, driving around a manual pickup truck. Just like in the old days, right? I want to see how... Yeah, I mean, if you really push it, you could make this feel closer to the automatic with the acceleration. But with how people are actually going to drive this, no, the automatic's just going to feel faster. But again, that's typical. So should you get a manual Gladiator? Well, it saves you some money, right? It's less expensive for the MSRP on this compared to an automatic by like $2,000 roughly. So you do have that going for you. And it drives well. I mean, again, it is a manual, it's old school, but it's a good manual. And if you want more of a challenge off-road, definitely going to give you more of a challenge off-road compared to the automatic. I mean, the automatic, I mean, again, automatic off-roaders now, like the Jeep now has off-road cruise control. So like, and they really do it all for you nowadays. Whereas this, if you want a little bit more of man and machine versus the rocks, it'll give that to you. But just understand that it's not a difficult manual transmission to drive. Sorry, I gotta make sure I don't bump anything here. Yeah, we're good. It's not a difficult manual transmission to drive, but I would say it's not for beginners. So let me know your thoughts on this manual Gladiator.